Let's connect. This is Network Radio.
Well, good day, folks. Welcome and thank you for joining us on yet another episode of the Startup Hour with me, Simbara Shemera, as your host. Well, on today's show, I'm privileged to have Jéan de Witt from Your Name Here Productions. Jéan, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Simba, thank you very much for having me.
A pleasure, a pleasure. Tell me, who is Your Name Here Productions?
Well, Your Name Here Productions is me. I'm the starter, the runner, the manager, the guy that does the designs and comes up with all the ideas. So yeah, at this point in time, it's myself. I have a couple of freelancers that work with me when the work starts to overflow a little bit. But at this point in time, it's myself. I'm Your Name Here.
So tell me more about all these other guys that join you in here and there. Who are they, and what else do they do within the business?
Well, we all have very similar skill sets. We're all in multimedia, so all of us are able to do web and graphic design work, filming, photography, all that kind of stuff. At this point in time, the freelancers that I have working for me are all university students that have just come out of university or that are busy finishing up with university and that haven't really entered into the job market per se. So they don't have years and years of experience, but they are very talented, they're very hardworking, and they're very dedicated to their craft. And dedicated to our clients in that they want our clients to get the best possible work that they can.
Amazing stuff. Just tell me, what is your vision and your goal, rather your end goal at the end of the day? What do you want to achieve with Your Name Here Productions?
Well, the big goal at the end is that little golden Oscar statue. That's what we're hoping for one day. But I want to create a business that is sustainable, that doesn't necessarily need me, that can run itself, and that will have a positive impact on the community and hopefully the country and the world eventually.
And what is your current status with regards to that goal right now? Have you put together the infrastructure, or it's still something you want to do in the future?
No, those are still very lofty ideals. Those are still quite far off in the distance. We've only been the company has only been going full time for about 10 months now.
Oh, okay.
So when we say startup, this is a real startup still. So, but we have a very firm base in that we've been affiliated with the Branson Center in Jersey, in Braamfontein. And through them, I've learned a lot about the basics, and I think that we're getting those basics right. We're getting a strong foundation for the company to be built on and to have a big impact in the future.
You know, I gotta say before I move on, amazing, or rather something amazing that I noticed that you are wearing your business. I'm not so sure if it's something that you do every day, but I liked it, I guess. You should hook me up maybe with a T-shirt that I get to move around with Your Name Here Productions.
Straight up. We'll organize something for you.
So you said you've been existing 10 months.
Yes, the concept kind of started about 5 years ago as a bit of a hobby business, where I would, at the time, the job that I was in, I was doing web and graphic design stuff, and on the side I was doing a bit of filming and so on with friends. And the idea was just to have a name that I could put to the work that I was doing, with the hope of possibly in the future creating something more permanent. And then I think I could say lucky enough halfway through last year to be retrenched. And I'm trying to take the positive outlook here. But I mean, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. I was retrenched. I was looking around for work, and there wasn't anything. Nothing was working out. And so I decided, hey, let's see if I can do this on a full-time basis. And so far the response has been amazing. I have a strong client base. I have lots of referrals and word of mouth that's happening. So things are going. I still have a house and a car, so I must be doing something decent.
I see. And Tell me, how did you come to the name Your Name Here Productions? What's the concept behind it?
It was it was actually a very personal thing in that watching films at the cinemas and so on, you're always on the big screen you see the Pixar animation productions or Disney studio productions, Paramount productions, and all those kinds of things. And I always wondered, and I always hoped for that time where I could have my name up there. And so that's kind of where the concept came from. And the idea behind it is giving people that don't necessarily have the skill sets that me and my crew do, giving them the opportunity or access, giving them access to those talents and those skills through Your Name Here. And basically, our slogan is getting your story told by putting you in the director's chair. So helping people to tell their stories their way.
Amazing. Just shed a little bit of light on the services and products that you offer as Your Name Here Productions.
We focus basically on 5 areas. We have web design, which we use WordPress themes and technology to build sites for our clients. We do graphic design, anything from logos to pamphlets, billboards, car wraps, anything, you name it. Then filming and photography, again, anything live events, portfolio shoots, advertisements, music videos. I'm doing a lot of music videos at the moment. And then copywriting. I was originally a writer. I've published a novel and 2 poetry collections in the past. And from that background, I also studied journalism. I've worked for a couple of magazines and newspapers. So copywriting is a very strong area of our services, getting those words right to tell your story right.
Speaking of journalism and a little bit of history that you touched on briefly earlier on, tell me, what is your background, educational background or otherwise?
Education, I have a matric. And after matric, I didn't spend a lot of time studying. I was gallivanting all over around the world, which wasn't a complete waste of time. I met my wife there. But as far as education, I did some correspondence courses, journalism, media studies, and creative writing. The rest of my skills through Photoshop, editing, filming, photography, all those things, I taught myself. I'm self-taught through handbooks and tutorials and all those kinds of things that I've taught myself.
And who were you working for before you moved on to Your Name Here Productions? And how long, perhaps, have you worked, or rather, did you work for them?
I have a very complicated and varied career path in my history. I've done sales, I've been a bookstore manager, I've owned, my family and we owned a friendly supermarket at one point in time, and I was even an Afrikaans high school teacher for a couple of years, and then eventually I ended up at a company called AFCO, the Affordable Housing Company. They buy buildings and fix them up and rent the apartments out in the Josie CBD. And for them, I did web and graphic design and marketing and those types of things. I created all their materials for them. And I worked for them for 3 years before I was retrenched through a reshuffling and restructuring on their part.
Amazing stuff. Just highlight to me what you'd consider your major successes that have perhaps impacted on your business over the past 10 months or over.
As a startup and an entrepreneur in general, I think every day is a challenge, and every day that you survive is another victory, no matter how small it is. But I'd have to say that my biggest accomplishments so far have been my affiliation with the Branson Center, finishing their foundation course, then eventually qualifying for the advanced course, and on completion of the advanced course, we do, each student does a 15-minute presentation on their business, and the top 6 students or the top 6 presenters get voted on, and they get asked to do a presentation in front of real world business people, people that have made it, people that are doing it out in the world. And I was fortunate enough that I was picked as one of the top 6 presenters and had the opportunity to present in front of all of these real life business people, and got some amazing feedback and made some really awesome connections there as well. So yes, that for me has been a great accomplishment so far.
You didn't mention that as a startup you have a lot of these challenges that you face. Tell me, how is that jump from the corporate world to the startup world? How was it for you?
It's a big change. It's a completely different way of living, it's a completely different way of thinking and working. You're by yourself. You have the friends, you have the support system and all that, but for all practical purposes, you're by yourself. You're fighting this battle, trying to get the clients in, trying to get the payments in, trying to get the bills paid, and all those things. So it's a struggle. It's intense. It can be really lonely sometimes. I get made fun of because I listen to the radio 24/7 because it's my only connection to the outside world, that and social media. So it's intense, it's difficult, it's something that you have to be the right kind of person to be able to make it as an entrepreneur.
Amazing stuff. And with all these crazy stuff going on as an entrepreneur, what are some of your hobbies, things that help you get your mind of business, I guess?
I'm very lucky in that my business comes from my hobbies. They were originally my hobbies: the filming, the writing, the art, all that. And so I work in my hobbies. I'm very fortunate in that. But I do. I watch a lot of television. I watch a lot of movies and series, and I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm on social media just about all the time. I have a very strong family life and a very connected family, so we visit a lot. And then I do bonsai. I grow bonsai trees. That's where I find my peace. That's how I get myself sorted out.
Amazing. Oh, great stuff. And speaking of your family, tell me, do you get any support from them?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, we're a very, very strong family, very close family. I was telling you earlier, my mom and my sisters live next door to my wife and my daughter and I. So we see each other all the time. They're very supportive. They spread the word of my business. They hook me up with people that they come in contact with. Each of them have a packet of business cards in their wallets that they hand out all the time as well. So yes, no, I have a very, very supportive family. My wife is strong. She deals with all of my crankiness, and when I'm stressing, when I'm trying to get things done, I have an amazing family. Yeah,
great stuff. Tell me more about your competition. What's it like, and how are you competing, or how do you intend to compete?
In multimedia, the competition is stiff. Every second guy thinks that he can be a graphic designer or a web designer because the technology is so accessible, and it's not a case where you need to have had a 5 or 6 years of study to be able to build a website, or need really expensive equipment to be able to make an advert, a video advert or something like that. So the competition is really stiff. There's hundreds and hundreds of small guys like myself out there. If I'd have to think of one of the big players in South Africa, the biggest is probably Quirk E-Marketing. They are amazing. They are awesome and huge, and their name says it all. They're quirky, they are fun, it just looks like they have a jaw in everything that they do. So that's... let me not say that they are competition. They're my role model at this point in time, because they've done it. They're making it, and they're doing it in a fun way. They're having fun while they're doing it.
Amazing. Well, ladies and gents, I'm Simbarashimir and I'm chatting to Jéan de Witt from Your Name Here Productions. Tell me a little bit more about your future plans, maybe within the next 6 months and the period after that.
The next 6 months, the big plan is survival. I mean, the scary statistic is that almost 70% of businesses close down within the first year or two. If that they don't make it, that finances just don't work out. So that's the big goal. So I'm coming up on a year. If I can hit that year mark and still be going strong as we are right now, I'll be very happy. Then looking beyond that, we want to expand the business into a couple of different areas. We're in the process of taking on more film projects, and trying to develop that side of the business a bit further. And then we want to create specifically three new divisions in the company. The first one that we want to get to is Your Name Here Media, which will be a stock image and a stock footage company that sells designs and photos and video footage to other designers via the internet. Because in South Africa, there isn't really a South African company like that creates content for the local market. Everything is all international stuff, so it's not necessarily always relevant for the local market in terms of the content that it portrays. Then next up after that, we want to create Your Name Here Television, which will be an online entertainment video network where we create unique and independent content for consumers that will be posted up on YouTube, and people can enjoy that for free, and our revenue will be created through adverts and click-through adverts through Google AdWords. And there we're looking at a couple of different things: web series, talk shows, news shows, that type of thing. And then finally, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we're looking to create Your Name Here Studios, which will be a space, a property, a developed property where we would have offices, where we would have studio space for film, radio, music, and just a place where creatives and other multimedia people can come and join us and help us to create content for the world stage, hopefully.
And what are some of the divisions that you have right now, besides the one that you are looking forward to establishing within your business?
Right now, it's just Your Name Here Productions. It's just the multimedia design. So we are just doing the services that we spoke about earlier. So nothing, no huge developments at the moment. But hopefully in the next couple of months, before the year end, we'll definitely see Your Name Here Media and hopefully Your Name Here TV going live as well. Amazing
stuff. Have you started raising capital or seeking investors actively?
Not at the moment. We've been busy with implementing infrastructure, implementing systems, and just trying to get the basics right before we want to go and see people, before we start talking to people about capital and equity and all those kinds of things. But, I mean, any entrepreneur is always in the market. We're always hoping for that big break, the big angel investor that just loves the idea and believes in you. So, yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
So suppose somebody like that does come along. What, or rather, how much of your business do you intend to sell off to investors or to them?
It would depend on the person and the capital. With obviously higher amounts of capital, you'd be willing to part with more of the business, or if the person was really bringing substantial, any investor brings substantial skills and experience to the company. But I mean, obviously for a Richard Branson or a Donald Trump or something like that, you'd be willing to offer up more of your company than for your run-of-the-mill investor. So,
Amazing. So tell me, other than that investment part and other than clients, what else are you looking for as an entrepreneur in order for you to push your business further?
Clients are the big one. The more clients we have, the better our cash flow is, and the more we'll be able to do. For instance, I'd really like to, in the next couple of months, to be able to employ my freelancers full time, and if I can do that, I'd also be able to service more clients and increase that cash flow even a little bit more. So yeah, clients are the big thing, and capital. I mean, without capital, you're gonna sink. You're not gonna make it. So yeah, capital is a big one.
You did touch on a bit of it, or rather bits and pieces of it. I want to ask you of the major challenges that you have faced over the past 10 months and perhaps before then as an entrepreneur.
Major challenges is getting the word out there. I think that's the biggest challenge, is getting the word out there. There's zero marketing budget. So you can't do the print ads, you can't do TV or radio ads or something like that. So you rely on word of mouth and referrals and social media. And so yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge, is getting the word out there, getting people to know that you're here, that you do good work. And other than that, I just thought of something, but now I've forgotten about it. I'll get back to it. If I remember, I'll get back to you about some other challenges.
Yeah, great stuff, great stuff. You mentioned the Bradson Center some time earlier ago. Yes. I wanted to chat just a little bit more on the process that you guys went through, the incubation process and everything that you learned from the Bradson Center, and yeah, from that entire incubation thing.
Okay. The Branson Center is part of Virgin Unite, which is Richard Branson's non-profit organization, and they do work all around the world through different divisions in the organization. And the Branson Center has offices here in South Africa, in Braamfontein and Johannesburg, and an office in the Caribbean, where they take on entrepreneurs, teach them the basics, like you said, the incubation process. They help you with that, and followed on eventually with a mentoring program, which is where I am in the development right now. So to start off with, there's an application process. You do an online application that gets sent through. Then you get invited for the interview phase of the application, where you get interviewed by 3 different people within the Virgin organization, not just with the Branson Center. And from there, discussions and all that kind of stuff, and they decide who are the people that get to go into the foundation course. Now, the foundation course is a 6-week course where you spend 1 day a week at the center, where you spend time with facilitators, the internal facilitators most of the time, and they really just teach you about the basics of your business, your market, who is your market, who are you supposed to be speaking to, your mission and vision, your goals, markets, segmentation, and all those kinds of stuff. And at the end of the foundation course, you have to submit a business plan as your qualification, and then you get given advice about how to tweak it a little bit, how to fix it, and then obviously you can use that to target investors or going to the bank to get capital through loans and that type of thing. Then after that, is the advanced course. You are invited by the Branson Center to apply for the advanced course. I was invited in the beginning of the year. Had to do a motivational letter. Then you get into the advanced course, which is 12 weeks long. You spend a full day on a Thursday and half day on a Saturday that you are at the center. And for the advanced course, they get outside facilitators, professionals in the Virgin organization, professionals in different fields, for instance, networking, marketing, personal branding, operations, your financials, business ethics, those types. I mean, just they cover everything that you can think of in those 12 weeks. And then at the end of the 12 weeks, like I said earlier, you do your 15-minute presentation. Then you get invited to do a Screw It, Let's Do It day where you present in front of actual professionals and business leaders. And from there, you go into the mentoring program, which is happening in the next couple of weeks, where they assign a mentor to you and your business, and you work closely with those people for a period of 6 months minimum, that you work with them, that they help you grow your business, help you fix your business, tweak the little things that you haven't implemented from the advanced course yet.
So have they assigned a mentor to you yet?
Not yet. That will be happening in the next couple of weeks.
Amazing. And what have you learned, rather, other than the basic business stuff from the Bradton Center, on a personal level perhaps, or as an entrepreneur, that's not to do with the marketing or...
Well, I've learned so much. I didn't really have much of a business background. My father was a big entrepreneur, but unfortunately he passed before he could teach me all of that stuff. So I really, when I started to do this full time, I really needed to get that basic foundation sorted out quickly. And the Branson Center really did that for me. They've believed in me and my company and my view for the future, what I want to become in the future. And that has been really beneficial to me, not just in my business, but personally, is to have someone, especially someone with the name Branson behind them, believe in you and believe that you can make something out of yourself and of your business. And so that was very, very beneficial to me.
I want to talk to you about your clients, your client base currently. Who are your major clients and what work are you doing for them?
Well, being a startup, I mean, you have to build up that portfolio. You have to build up the name first before you can hit the really big guys. So for the past 10 months that we've been going, we've generally been serving mainly other entrepreneurs, startups to medium size, where we do everything from, for startups, we can tell their story from the beginning, from doing their logo, corporate identity, website, through to advertising materials, setting up their social media and that type of thing. And but probably our biggest client was the people that I've worked with in the past, AFCO, the Affordable Housing Company. So I still do some of their marketing material and their branding for them. So yeah, those are mainly the clients that I'm servicing at the moment, small to medium guys.
Just to look at a little bit on the figures, if you don't mind, just give us an idea of your current sales revenue as well as your sales projections going into the future.
Yeah. Well, the current sales and expenses and so on, to start out with, it was a bit hectic because we had to implement infrastructure, buy some equipment, get branding done, like the shirts and the hoodies and get the car wrapped and all that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, things were quite tight, but we made it through and things have leveled out. And I have to say we're bringing in about between well, it varies a lot depending on how many projects we do. And unfortunately, because I'm mostly by myself, that puts a damper on how many projects I can do at a time. And that's why I've brought the freelancers in. So I'd have to say that we're working at about between 15 and 30 grand a month that we're bringing in, depending on how many projects we have. So yeah, it's enough to pay the bills and have a little bit of extra. So we're working on building that coffer up so that we can start getting our own equipment and not have to rely on renting cameras and lighting and rigs and all those kinds of things. So yeah, things are looking up. And then you asked for projections. I've two projection models where we have a conservative model that looks at about a 5 to 10% growth month on month for the next 6 months. Which would set us in a very good place where I could probably bring in at least one of my freelancers on at a full-time basis. Then we are working on one or two really big name clients, which I would love to name drop. But unfortunately, because we're still talking, it makes things a bit difficult. But we are working to get us that big fish. And once we do, our revenue would triple per month, which would put me in the place where I could employ full-time 2 or 3 of my freelancers on a permanent basis to be able to create the video and web content that we're talking with the clients, as well as still be able to service our current client base with their needs, their web and graphic design and content writing and so on.
Amazing stuff. Just remind me again, you are working from home, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And where is that based?
I'm based in the south of Joburg, in Besonia, working from my house. But the good thing about just being me by myself, I'm very mobile. I do a lot of work in the Sandtons in the north. I do a lot of work in Roodepoort. And then in Josie. I'm in Josie at least 3 or 4 times a week, seeing clients, meeting up with people, trying to get some deals going and so on. I love the inner city. I'm a Josie boy, born and bred. I'll always love the inner town. So,
well, Jéan, unfortunately, we have come to the end of today's show. But it was great. It was amazing, actually, having you around. I hope to have you back sometime.
Thank you very much. At any time. I loved it. This was awesome.
Well, just one other thing, though.
Yeah.
What's your last message to aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring business people? What do you have to say to them?
Just keep going. Don't give up. I mean, follow your dreams. I know that sounds really corny, but it's the truth. I mean, you must grab onto those dreams of yours and hold on. Don't ever let go. Try and get there and try and get some help. It's difficult doing this by yourself. It's a long, hard journey, and the more help that you can get, the more people that can support you or that you can learn from their mistakes. The better it's going to be for you, the easier it'll be for you in the long run. So, yeah, just keep going and get some help.
Great stuff. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in for yet another episode next week. My name is Simbara Shemera, and have a great day.